but I'm encouraged. Why? We stole one in the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Now we got to steal 2 at home.
I wouldn't exactly say you got to steal it. I mean, you just got to hold serve.
Yeah,
we got to steal it because Minnesota's no slouch.
That's true too.
That's why I'm saying we got to steal both at home.
Ladies and gentlemen, all this and more.
Just a minute.
What?
Hold it.
Y'all remember what we did yesterday with the quarterback rooms?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do it
And the
again.
running back.
Let's do it again.
Okay.
But we're gonna add a twist to it.
Uh-oh.
Let's go.
Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up? Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah!
Let's go, baby!
We've made it to the end of the week. Good morning. Welcome to the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. Good morning to Genevieve and A Pizzle who have joined us in the Fanatics feedback zone. This first
make sure you all check out Jen on Twitch at Genevieve_Yoso. She's going to slap me for that later.
Please.
Yep, and then the frying pan comes out and hits dog in the back of the head.
Yep.
If this door opens, then I'm going to get it. First hour today is powered by Invader Coffee. Fuel for the fearless.
Oh, no.
Yep. I know it's coming.
What you be laughing at?
What am I laughing? Look at Genevieve's response.
Yep. I help her out and I get the for fuck's sake.
Yep, like I said,
frying pan coming.
Frying pan or a rolled up newspaper, you getting hit.
I'll just get a kendo stick upside the head.
Ooh.
I have the distinct feeling once Dog and I team up to introduce one of Jen's streams, I'm gonna get socked in the back of the head. All right, before we get into our usual Friday shenanigans, which is a potluck Friday, and yes, I'm bringing back the potluck Friday, we have an open letter from
I guess
Meanwhile, as Dr. K goes flying in.
Right?
Yeah. Well, look, my beauty.
I know.
I guess you need to open the email.
Who's the email to?
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, Jesus.
CC
And the subject?
Cowboys fans.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me pull this up here.
Mhm.
And the subject is?
BCC, Moronic Republic of Cowboys Nation. Subject of email.
Hold on a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the full soundboard yet.
I know.
But email Cowboys Nation. CC Cowboy fan. BCC Moronic Republic of Cowboys Nation. Subject of email. You're all idiots.
I'm gonna say, don't fall into the trap.
Body of email.
So we know that George Pickens is now officially going to become part of the Blue Star crew, which sounds great on paper. The fact that you have someone with a well-spread of talent like George Pickens, someone who definitely has the ability to become a top 10 wide receiver, I think it goes without saying. You also pair him with one CD Lamb, and then you couple that with Kevontae Turpin, who's becoming one of the top-tier return men. I mean, God, you saw what happened against Washington. Having said all that, I came to a very startling conclusion. This is a smokescreen. What is the one thing we know about the Dallas Cowboys? They love to be in the news. They love to have headlines. And this has garnered some of the biggest headlines for the Dallas Cowboys in a while. In fact, it's almost taken over pretty much most of football. Everyone has been talking about George Pickens leaving Pittsburgh and coming to Dallas. Everyone is talking about how the Pittsburgh Steelers, in grand, wonderful fashion, took a $25 roll of course and stuck it up their own ass.
Excuse me?
And now we have a droid here.
Quiet. There's an email being written. Go on.
But with all that to say, with all the positives that we could have for the Dallas Cowboys, do not fall into the trap. Because everything I've been hearing on my Discord has been, this shows it. We're finally going all in. That this could possibly be our year to land the big one. Couple problems. Mike Tomlin has been known to have problematic individuals on his team.
True.
Mike Tomlin has been known to take on strong personalities and keep them even to the detriment of the team. Need I say about Antonio Brown?
No, you had it right the first time. Say it true. Say it again, black man. Say it again.
Antonio Clown.
Mm.
And now you're saying that Tomlin has had enough and he decided to take DK Metcalf, which is going to be an even bigger headache.
Pete Carroll, side note in said email, if Pete Carroll couldn't rein in DK Metcalf, I'll let Victor complete the rest.
And so now George Pickens will now be the possible headache for one Brian Schottenheimer. And we're led to believe, as Cowboys fans, we're led to believe that he's going to be able to rein that personality in.
Yeah, right.
Look, I want to be optimistic. I really do. But what happens when you hit that drought in the middle of the season, which Cowboys are known to have? What
you
happens?
Finally put Kevontae Turpin in the starting lineup instead of making him a kick returner?
I mean, you should. But I'm worried also about the fact of whether or not he's going to be I'm worried about him being like a Devin Hester, where he's only like okay as a wide receiver, but he's a phenomenal return man. You don't want to ruin both sides of the ball.
XFL, anyone?
Well, that was ruined.
Wait, doesn't that league not exist?
Rock bought it and merged it into the USFL, which is now why we have the UFL.
Yeah.
On a side note, I'll explain why I made that reference.
In essence, what happens when CeeDee Lamb is getting 10 targets and George's only getting 4? Do you think he's going to be quiet about that?
And Kevontae Turpin gets none.
Do you think he's going to be quiet for that?
No.
Especially, what if you decide to do the inverse and give Kevontae Turpin so many targets, but you stop feeding CeeDee Lamb? CeeDee Lamb also is known to have a personality too.
Or getting Rico Dowdle no carries.
Exactly. And that was my third point.
And not getting a running back at all.
What if you start to abandon the run?
Wait, no. They drafted 2, didn't they? They drafted 2 running backs?
They drafted 2. They did draft 2 running backs in the draft, yes.
And who are we talking about again?
Gerald.
Thank you.
What happens when you start to abandon the run? ... Again. This is why
the Bears found out that problem real fast.
This is why I can't be 100% sold on this league. I want to be optimistic, and part of me kind of is.
Oh yeah.
We need wide receiver 2. We got a wide receiver 2.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, does he want to be a wide receiver 2, or will he fight tooth and claw to become wide receiver 1, and we have a wide receiver controversy instead of a quarterback controversy? Oh, and by the way, Cowboys, who's our quarterback again?
Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, and Joe Milton III.
Who the hell is Joe Milton? But the main quarterback and the main problem for the Cowboy offense, yes, Dak, it is you.
Yeah.
Amen.
And like I said, I want this to work for Dak. I want this to work for the Cowboys. And something that Cowherd even said kind of gave me pause.
Mm-hmm.
He said the only way this works is with Dak, because Dak is the mood guy. He's the guy that can chill things out. He's the guy that can quell things. And that's all well and good, but I don't need a guy who can chill things out. I need a winner. I need someone who can throw touchdowns and not picks.
You need someone who's got a set of balls to play football.
I need someone who is not going to take 5, 6, 7 yard sacks. I need someone who can make good, quick decisions with the football.
It would also help if he had a line.
It does. And with Tyler Booker and a couple others, I think we're getting the line better. But it also doesn't help that he holds onto the ball too long.
I have a very important question, Victor.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's your OC?
Lord, if I know.
I rest my case.
Lord, if I know. We're still trying to figure out what Brian Schottenheimer is going to bring to the Cowboys, offense. And even
Clayton Adams.
Who?
In the
former Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator.
Well, that's what we got to go with.
I quit.
Like I said, who?
I quit. I'm going back to bed.
So
see everybody Monday.
So in closing, let's calm down. You can applaud that Jarrell kind of got George for a steal. I mean, we gave up a third round and a 5th round. We got a 6th round out of it too. That's what I pick out of it. For someone like George Pickens, that's a damn steal.
Yeah, I remember you forgetting his nickname, CTE.
There you go. Well, I always call him Crash Out Pickens.
Well, it's either Crash Out or CTE. It's kind of just pick one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I want things to go well, but just calm down. Let the situation play out, and let's just see what happens on week 1. Let's just see how everyone gels on week 1. And then we'll see if they are primed for greatness or doomed to fail again.
Let's just hope history doesn't repeat itself.
Sign Victor Locke. CEO, Vic A. Industries.
Isn't that right next door to Vandalay Industries?
You fool!
But my friends, the ones that I call the greatest people I know,
Mm-hmm.
the AFC West, besides the Chiefs, is terrifying.
The hell you talking about?
Look at the Chargers acquisitions.
Oh, the
They
Chargers are looking-
finally decided, let's actually get Herbert some weapons. And now not only do they have Lad McConkey, they also have Trey Harris.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember his name, but he has like an asterisk. Wide receiver from, I believe, Syracuse or Auburn. One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
They also picked up Kansas wide receiver Luke Grimm. Blake will like that shout. And they picked up the second best running back in the draft, Omarion Hampton.
That I think is going to be their golden goose.
Huge pickup for San Diego.
I think
And
that
I still cannot say Los Angeles Chargers because to me they are the San Diego Chargers, but that's a rant for another day.
I'm gonna just say this: I did feel a little salty that the Cowboys didn't pick up Omarion, but if it would go to any team, I am glad he is going to the Chargers.
And you also got to remember they get a okay backup in Najee Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And they also retained their previous running back on an RFA deal.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are going to be the boogeyman for the AFC.
I think
Chargers have always been the boogeyman for the Chiefs. Mahomes or no Mahomes. It's just that the Chiefs have always had the wild card in Mahomes. And then the reason, hold on, Droid, before you pull your hair out, the reason why I say Mahomes is the wild card is because Mahomes always comes up with a backyard football play, which 99.999% of the time works, and puts the Chiefs over the top.
That's some backyard football bullshit.
But you also, I want to say, another division that's for once in its existence since 2002, when the South divisions were made.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time, the NFC South actually looks terrifying.
We said no.
Shit.
We actually said that in the draft.
We said that when we did the draft. We said it was
will be something to watch.
Mm-hmm. We said
something to watch.
We said the NFC South would be fun to watch. Now let's take a break because I want to get Droid in on a little fun that we had yesterday.
Oh Lord!
Because we flipped some quarterback rooms upside down.
And I'll explain the origin of that quote I just took earlier. Please
tell me you did the Browns.
Hang tight. Let's take a break.
That's a yes.
I got to go get a kiss from my wife. And when we come back, we're going to flip the quarterback rooms upside down again. Back in a minute.
You mean worse than what we did yesterday?
Worse.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
trust me. I did some digging in my almanac as prompted by my beauty back here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is some bullshit.
And this is a break.
And this is Snowman Multimedia.
This is a break. We're back in a deuce.
This is Snowman in the morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god
whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
The spirit of battle is a powerful force. It's a force that drives us, pushes us beyond our limits. It's a fire in our hearts that fuels our determination, our commitment, our strive for greatness. Every challenge faced, every obstacle overcome, it sharpens our skills and fortifies our resolve. This relentless pursuit of excellence makes the journey so exhilarating. And the victory, it makes the victory sweet.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code Snowman, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Rain Dakota Prescott, a.k.a. Dak Prescott.
Okay.
A.k.a. Where is it?
Oh, no.
A.k.a. I'll throw one playful shot at Victor, and then we'll go on. 2 years ago, Niners played the Cowboys in Week 5. Victor adamantly and vehemently told me, I ain't doing this shit. I said, why not? And Victor goes, because y'all are going to kill us. I said, Victor, trying to be diplomatic, and I had a 2-foot smile on my face. I said, Victor, you never know. This could turn out to be a good game like the one in January. This is when Victor cussed me out and goes, who won? San Francisco? Now you know why I'm not doing this shit.
It reminds me of what's it? Ernie Johnson. Just like that isn't funny.
Right.
Well, it gets better. The story gets better. I'm warming up. I'm getting ready to go. My wife brings me my notes. She brings me my dessert. Ready to fly, and off we go into the game. And I'm seeing a series of messages from Victor, and he's going, "I hate you right now." And after the touchdown, the second one to George Kittle on a trick play, I could swear I hear Victor in my head going, and this is before Fred Warner laid a hand on him.
So, Droid, you want to know why I use the particular example that I said when it came to the Steelers, right?
Now I don't know if I do.
Well,
It's my fault.
Yeah, so
it's my fault.
Before you came in on the draft coverage, Bay and Snowman were talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
don't ask why.
Exactly.
Aaron,
perfect
Rodgers.
answer.
And Bay said, Aaron Rodgers, did he or did he not stick a quarter in his own ass?
Lord,
what happened with the Jets? I fell out for 15 minutes.
He did. And then
I came back and I said, I have been on this earth for 41 years. I have never heard that example ever. Someone sticking a quarter up their own. And then Snowman said it wasn't just one quarter, it was a roll of quarters in his own ass.
The ones that you get from the bank?
The ones you get from the currency exchange, yes.
Yeah, the $10 roll.
Without the plastic. We're talking about the brown paper bag roll.
Yes.
And then Victor, today, it's not a $10 roll of quarters, it's a $25 roll of quarters.
A $25 roll of quarters that the Pittsburgh Steelers, with the idiocy, the abject idiocy that they have done with the draft and with this trade, they have stuck a $25 roll of quarters up their own ass.
If you can out-brown the Browns,
that's the thing that scares me. And I said the people who are laughing
in abject idiocy, if you can out-browns the Browns,
if you could see the real winner of this whole thing is the Baltimore Ravens. Because the Ravens are like, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk now. It was already going to be easy enough to make it to the AFC.
What did you always say, Victor? And the winner was the Baltimore Ravens.
The winner was the Baltimore Ravens.
And bear in mind, the Ravens are winning in spite of who they have at quarterback.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're winning in spite of this clown.
Because and listen, I have had people come after me ever since I said Lamar Jackson has regressed. I have 3 words to counter that.
Find the lie.
Exactly. Find the lie. Because if you want to use regular season achievements against me when it comes to Lamar Jackson, be my guest. But I can just point to 2 occasions where he's regressed. When he's at the number 1 seed and a game in his house, once for the division game and once for the AFC championship, and he choked them both away.
Yep.
Let's do a list.
Oh, boy.
Worst all-time quarterbacks.
Cordell Stewart.
That didn't take long.
Johnny Manziel.
Cade McNown.
Cam Newton when he was on New England.
Cam Newton, period.
What's crazy is I say that, but the jersey I have is a Cam Newton jersey.
There you go.
Cade McNown.
Marcus Russell. Cade McNown. I can dig that. I would say
Tony
Kenny
Romo.
Williams, but Victor will hit me.
Tony Romo.
Tony will hit me.
Tony Romo.
No, Jason Garrett.
Zach Wilson.
Mark Sanchez.
Zach Wilson, as Victor said.
Geno Smith.
Oh, God. Someone said Mark Sanchez already, didn't they?
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you mean butt fumble?
Butt fumble. It's a butt fumble against New
By the
England.
way, fun fact, that was my fantasy team name.
Butt fumble.
Yeah, with a picture of Mark Sanchez.
What's crazy is I believe that was actually the Thanksgiving nightcap when that happened.
Was 2012. I remember
going into the
where
game.
I was at my girlfriend's family's house when we watched that happen live, and the whole room got quiet.
By the way, we need to do a fantasy NFL league around here.
I never thought you'd ask.
Unfortunately, some people here have more ball knowledge than others.
What?
What you trying to say?
What are you talking about?
What I'm trying to say is somebody's going to run the table every single year.
Well, quit talking about yourself.
mean? What you mean? I mean, it's not like we have this clown playing with us.
Oh, dear.
It's not like anyone's going to be risking and doubling down to get this clown either. Chicago already did that.
Jay.
More.
Oh, Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson. And yes,
Wait, didn't Russell win a chip, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least Russell has a chip. You got to get
Russell got a ring.
Wait a minute, hold up. By the way, Droid, speaking of someone saying they're going to run the table, the great Fat Tino said he's going to be the one running the table.
Listen, you got just as much ball knowledge as Shannon Sharp. Shut up, Blake.
Rip. Rip.
With your OV Bon Jovi, not your Mahomie, Canes and 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, the segment has already devolved.
Let's start at the top.
Drew Bledsoe.
Chris Miller. Atlanta Falcons.
Matt Castle.
Oh God.
And I'm talking about when he played for New England and Kansas City.
I'm going to fuck Victor up with this name. Gary Hogaboom.
That's about as bad as 38-day-old Mayo.
The backup to Danny White.
Yep.
Yikes! Who got knocked the fuck out against the Bears in November of 1985. Right. You know it's bad when your starting quarterback gets knocked out in one series, and the very next series they knock him out. They knock the backup out.
Right.
Oh, who else?
Carson Wentz.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dan McGuire, former Seattle Seahawk.
Currently, how about Tua?
Paxton Lynch.
I don't know. The only reason why I wouldn't say Tua is because a lot of his situation is hampered by the concussions.
Who remembers when Paxton Lynch went to the Broncos and he did nothing?
Nothing.
I remember that.
They were like, "Oh, storied prospect out of Memphis and intercepted."
Vinny Testaverde in his later years.
Hey, look, Testaverde led a hell of a comeback against the Miami Dolphins. I watched that game live. Okay, that was his last great game when he threw for 230 yards in the fourth quarter alone.
This is for personal reasons, even though I think talent-wise he's probably pretty decent. Colin Kaepernick.
I'm gonna hit you in your knee.
But Pizzo just brought one up. Brock Osweiler.
Oh, Brock Osweiler.
Oh my God.
Wasn't he also a Bronco?
Matt Schaub.
Schaub, that's a poll. That is a pull.
Match.
Okay, so this guy's a tale of two different sides. Jay Cutler.
Mm,
You can say that.
Well, Jay Cutler was like, listen, Jay Cutler was loved by fans, but he was a terrible player.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
My mom tried to convince me to like Jay Cutler. I looked at my mother. God bless you, Mom. I looked at my mother and I said, "Are you crazy?" And as soon as I said that, Mom says he's looking good though. Turn to the television. Guess what happens?
Intercepted.
Yes, he promptly
This
threw.
is an old Chief. This is an older Chiefs poll, and the mentor to Patrick Mahomes, which I believe is one of the big reasons he became so good, is Alex Smith.
Alex Smith was actually good. Okay.
In his time in Kansas City, but as soon as he was gone from Kansas City, went to Washington. What happened?
He got
That
his
was
leg broken
Washington.
in two different places.
That
I got
was
an old
Washington.
Chiefs quarterback. Joy probably will not remember this name, but I do. Bill Kenny.
Bill Kenny. Okay.
Bill Kenny.
I'll give
He
you.
wore
I'll
number
give
9 with
you.
the Chiefs.
I'll give you another former Patriot, Brian Hoyer.
Oh, I remember Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer hopped around with everybody.
Was he also a Brown too?
Yes.
And a Cardinal.
Brian Hoyer beat the Minnesota.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Wait a minute. Brian Hoyer beat the Vikings, which caused Paul Allen in his annual 12 Days to Christmas song to go, Brian freaking Hoyer.
Yep.
Ooh.
Okay.
This quarterback is known for one good play. And it's Diggs, sideline, touchdown. Case Keenum.
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum. No, I got one who was known for his Heisman year, but not his NFL years. Andre Ware.
Oh, here's one that everyone basically talks about his shortcomings. Tim Tebow.
Yep.
And he was short.
Okay. Ooh. Here's a Raiders poll. Cody Fajardo.
Oh, really? The current CFLer who's now a Grey Cup champion? I remember him.
I'll give you another Raiders
No,
poll.
you got to give him some respect. Former Wolfpack.
Hey, I'll give you another Raider poll. Jamarcus Russell.
Who cares?
Somebody already polled him. Somebody
Let's
already polled him.
Let's get back into the NFC East. How about a Sam Bradford?
How about a Sam Howell?
Sam
Howell.
I got a
give you
Raider
one
poll for you. Wait a minute. I got a Raider poll for you. Let me see if y'all can dig back into the Wayback Machine for this name. Mark Wilson.
Ew.
That's about as bad as in that South Division. Blake Bortles.
You want to go into the You want to go into the Wayback Machine? I'll give you one from up here in my neck of the hood. Scott Zolak.
Oh God. Scott Zolak. Dear Lord. I got a 49er pull for you.
Okay.
Tim Rattay.
Tim Rattay.
Out of South Carolina. Dude was awful.
Honestly, I think Dr. K might like this poll. Matt Hasselbeck.
Matt Hasselbeck. I remember that one.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one from down in Droid. I'll give you one from down in Droid's neck of the hood. Brodel Croyle.
Brody Croyle.
Yeah.
However the hell you say his name.
Yeah.
No, I got one. I got a Browns pull for y'all.
Uh-oh.
Brady Quinn.
Oh,
yes,
no.
next.
I remember Brady Quinn. Oh.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one from Victor's neck of the woods. Quincy Carter.
Who wore the same number as Jason Garrett.
Yep.
Number 17. Jonathan Flago with a great pull. Elvis Gerbach. And then
God, I actually remember that name.
And then A Pizzle follows it up with Ken Dorsey.
Ken Dorsey.
How about one from Cleveland? Tim Couch.
Oh God. I used to live in Ohio, and I remember when he got drafted and all the ballyhoo that the Browns fans were making, and he got his ass kicked.
Yep.
I got one. Oh dear God, I got one. Former Steeler, Tommy Maddox.
Ooh.
Former XFL MVP.
Okay.
Let's go from them running Rebels in the college football. Chad Kelly.
Chad Machine Gun Kelly, who thinks he's as good as Jim Kelly and ain't even close.
Here's one from Chicago. Chad Hutchinson.
Oh yeah,
Lord.
Chad Hutchison.
Yes.
And then let's back that up with
yes,
Rex Grossman.
Rex Grossman. Okay, so
you know
here's
what? Rex Grossman cost me a pizza one day. One weekend, I was delivering pizza during the divisional round. This is when I first got my car. I get a call into work. The Bears were playing the Seattle freaking Seahawks in the divisional round. My boss decided to make a bet with me. And he said, I bet you that Rex Grossman will not win this game. I said, he'll throw a touchdown and walk us off. It was Robbie Gould that walked us off, but he cost me a pizza.
I'll give you another one from Arizona.
So instead of getting a pizza, I wound up getting like some breadsticks and a sausage calzone for my dinner that night. Oh, there's one.
Here's a good poll
from the old World League days. Thank you, Blake, for this. Stan Gelbaugh used to play with the London Monarchs.
How about Kent Austin?
Oh, dear. Kent Austin.
I'll give you guys one from Arizona. John Skelton.
Ooh.
Red Skelton. Good Lord. Red Skelton.
You know what? I'll back that up from somebody in New Orleans. Billy Joe Tolliver.
Oh God. Billy Joe Tolliver. Billy Joe Tolliver. Why?
Will Levis.
Hey, Pizzle pulls up our Schleister.
I'll give you one. All right, here's one from Indianapolis. Mike Pagel.
Oh God! Don't make my wife come in here.
Right.
What's wrong with you?
Frank Sauer.
Matt Painter, since we're talking Colts.
Ew.
The man who temporarily replaced Peyton Manning before they drafted Andrew Luck.
Yep.
All right, here you go. Let's go to Seattle.
Oh no.
No, can't use that one. We already said it. Geno Smith.
This one's for the supervillain.
Uh-oh.
JC Watts.
Oh God. Oh, Curtis Painter. Thank you, A Pizzle. Curtis Painter. Oh no. Dan Orlovsky.
What about Carson Palmer?
Palmer was actually good.
Listen, like Palmer was good in the system that he was in, but then they took him out of that system and that screwed him over.
Yeah.
I'll give you a name. Steve DeBerg.
Hey, I remember DeBerg.
Who's that forgotten quarterback out of Atlanta? Oh yeah, Desmond Ritter. Wasn't that his name?
Yeah.
Desmond Ritter.
DeBerg, listen, I was away at college in 1990, and he went toe-to-toe with Warren Moon. The only problem was Warren Moon threw for 554 yards. No, check that. 527, 554.
By the way, fun fact about the Cody Fajardo poll. I have his rookie card.
Nice. Very nice.
Which is worth nothing because he was nothing in the NFL.
The supervillain chimes in. Kyle Mackey.
Okay.
Drugs are bad. Okay.
Drugs are bad.
Blake, I brought up Brody.
Oh God.
Here's one out of Baltimore. Kyle Bowler.
Oh no.
What about one out of Miami? Josh Heupel.
Heupel.
Screw you. I'm the only good names I'm good at pronouncing is Russian names.
That's because you watch them for a long time and you get the pronunciations right, which I applaud you for.
Here's another one out of Indianapolis.
Jonathan, thank you. Out of Tampa Bay, Mike Glennon.
Yep.
Planning.
I'll give you another one out of Indy. Jeff George.
Oh God, Jeff George.
Jeff George, who thought he was Mr. It when he graduated from Illinois.
And then he had to put that safety in front of it.
And then got smacked around in Indianapolis and smacked around with the Raiders.
He thought he was Mr. It, and then he had to put the S and the H when he went against Indy.
Mm-hmm. Because they did the same thing to him that they did to Andrew Luck.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give him a line.
They didn't give him a line.
Oh, no. Mike Garrard, Jacksonville.
Garrard.
Oh.
I don't know where I came up with that. Thank you, Mr. McCoffey. Danny Werfel, former Gator.
How about this one out of Cincinnati? Achilles Smith.
Oh, my God.
Mm.
Oregon quarterback who sucked royal ass. Former Oregon quarterback who felt he should have won the Heisman Trophy and sucked royal ass.
Tony Graziani.
Tony Graziani. It's a Graziani.
Wasn't he out of Oregon?
Graziani? Speaking of Oregon quarterbacks, Joey Harrington.
Ooh, Harrington. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Joey Harrington. Steve Fuller, former Bear.
Mm.
How many of these are going to be Bears?
How about Chris Winkie Chris Winkie out of Carolina?
Chris Winkie, yeah.
Chris Winkie.
Chris Winkie ain't winking no more.
The 29-year-old quarterback who was great at Florida State but got to Carolina and couldn't do a goddamn thing.
Well, it was Carolina, so what did you expect?
Oh, here's a Chiefs poll. Pete Woods.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Ryan gave me a Jets poll. Bryce Petty.
Bryce Petty.
I'll give you an Arizona poll. The shake and bake man himself, Jeff Blake.
How about a Jags poll for my father, Blaine Gabbert,
who threw a game. I have a funny story about Blaine Gabbert. Me and the ex-roommate were on our way to what the hell is that place? It's a place up in Schaumburg. GameWorks. We're on our way to we were on our way to GameWorks. And he bet me, stupid idiot, that the Bears would beat the 49ers when they went to overtime because we were listening to Jeff Joniak's call on WBBM.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what makes you so sure? And he says, because we actually have a quarterback and the 49ers don't. So the Niners get the ball back, tied at 20. And on the next play, I said, I bet you Gabbert throws a touchdown. And if he throws a touchdown, you owe me dinner twice. Well, son of a bitch. Blaine Gabbert hit Torrey Smith for a 71-yard walk-off touchdown, and he stopped in traffic, fuming.
Mike Ray.
Ryan Leaf. Thank you, Blake.
Ryan Leaf.
It took a while for somebody to name Ryan Leaf. I was like, I don't want to be that boy.
Tom Marinovich.
Has anyone brought up Trent Dilfer yet?
Hey, Dilfer's got a ring.
Bears, Vince Evans.
Oh God. Yeah, that was my next one. Here's a former Bear, Bob Avellini.
Paul McAdoodle Donald. Out of Cleveland.
Here's one for Philadelphia and Cool Breeze himself.
Thank you, Jonathan. Christian Ponder.
I'll give you one out of Philadelphia. Bubby Brister.
That's Pittsburgh.
Oh, they got him listed for Philadelphia too.
Oh, he did play with
Pittsburgh, Philly, Jets, Denver, Minnesota, Kansas City.
Oh, here you go. Former Iowa quarterback who played with the Lions for about 2 years. Chuck Long. And the oldest quarterback the Bears have ever had who couldn't stay healthy for nothing. Greg Landry.
I got two New Mexico players, Brad Wright and Stoney Case.
Stoney Case. Stoney Case
How
was
about-
on his way to. Oh, you know what? Former quarterback out of Hawaii who couldn't make it in the NFL, Tim Chang.
Tim Chang.
I'll give you another name, Jeff Comlow.
Oh God.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff
Kingsbury.
Thank Ryan McCoffey for that pull.
I'll give you one round of the
Who
Giants.
had a half a cup of coffee with the Jets. Ryan's saying it's a full cup. I say it's a half a cup of coffee.
I'll give you one out of the Giants, Danny Cannell.
Oh, jeez. Florida State product. I'll give you a current one with the Giants. Well, I don't think he's with the Giants anymore. Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito.
I'll give you one. He had one good game, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's the next big quarterback."
Right.
Speaking of Giants, the quarterback that preceded Hall of Famer Phil Simms, Scott Brunner.
I'll give you one out of Dallas.
He wore number 12 with the Giants. He preceded Phil Simms by 2 years. And when he played against the 49ers in 1981 in the divisional playoff, the 49ers tore him to pieces.
Did you already say Colt McCoy, my friend?
No.
That's another Browns.
I'll give you one out of Dallas, Steve Walsh.
No, I got one for you. I got one that'll help put this to bed. Former Cleveland Brown. You ready for this name?
Mm-hmm.
Spurgeon Wynn.
Spurgeon Wynn.
I got one from Colts Nation. Sorry, Dr. K. Sam Ellinger?
Well, I'll see your Spurgeon, and I'll raise you out of Chicago, Bob Avellini.
Already said him.
Oh.
Yeah, you already did say him.
I'll see my Spurgeon win, and I'll raise you Seneca Wallace.
Seneca Wallace. Yeah, I haven't heard that in a minute.
Oh God, Ryan, where you pull this?
I'll raise you Seneca Wallace with Charlie Batch.
Charlie Batch.
You know, I'll raise you Carl Todd from the Jets.
Oh gosh,
Charlie Batch.
Charlie Batch.
Who I actually affectionately call Charlie Bitch.
I'll raise you Frank Holch from the Steelers.
I'll raise you Frank Reich from the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, Lord.
And you know what? I'll raise you from
Lord
Chicago.
have mercy. Let's talk about Frank Wright.
I'll raise you from Chicago, Vince Evans.
I'll raise you, even though this guy's a champion, Jeff Hostetler from the Giants.
Hostetler, yeah.
And Blake just beat us all. Nathan Peterman.
Nathan Peterman, Ryan Nassib.
Nathan Petermeme.
You know what? And I'm going to go out to San Francisco for this one. Tim Rattay.
Bitch, I already said him.
Oh, he did?
I said him 20 minutes ago.
You realize how long we've been going at this, right?
Jet and Steeler, Neil O'Donnell.
We've been doing this for 30 freaking minutes here, okay?
And the problem is?
I lose track of who we've said.
This is true. I do also.
Let's see here. Who else?
I got one. Oh, jeez. I can't believe I'm going to do this. From the Buffalo Bills, Joe Ferguson.
From Chicago, Gary Huff.
I'll raise you with Mike Frankowiak out of Denver.
Oh, God. I'll see your Mike Frankowiak from Denver, and I'll raise you Craig Martin out of Denver.
I'll top both of you out of
this is good.
Dan Pastorini.
This is a shot at Victor. I'll raise you Gary Hoggaboom out of Dallas.
Oh, beat you to it. Beat you to that one.
How about Dan Lefebvre?
Wait. Thank you, Jonathan. J.P. Losman, Buffalo Bills.
All right, did Tim Tebow, Ryan.
How about out of Chicago, Dan Lefebvre?
Oh gosh, really?
How about out of,
his name sounds so French. I was like, screw it. French playing Lefebvre.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you one out of Cincinnati, Jack Thompson.
I'll raise you Jack. I'll see your Jack Thompson. Raise you EJ Manuel.
EJ Manuel, no.
I'll call that with Dave. I'll call that with Dave Klingler.
Not David Klingler. Not David Klingler.
Yep.
You almost said Klinger. I was like, what is this? MASH?
Yes. It's a MASH unit.
Did we
I
do
was watching
JP
that shit last night.
Dude, have we done JP Lossman yet?
Yes.
Okay.
What about Greg Cook?
Yep. Got him.
How about Danny McCoy? How to
Who?
Former Cincinnati Bearcat Danny McCoy.
No, I got one. Rodney Pete from Detroit.
Tony Pike, Carolina.
Oh God, not Pike. Not Tony Pike.
How about out of Seattle, Rick Meyer?
Oh, he sucked. Oh, here you go. From the Detroit Lions, Eric Hipple. Who got murdered by the Bears.
Adrian Burke.
Jack Trudeau.
Oh, God. Former Illinois quarterback. And I loved him once upon a time. Lefty, Scott Mitchell. And thank you, Dan Lovely, for tuning us in this morning.
Ooh, here's a good one from the former Colts team, the Baltimore Colts. How about Terry Southall?
No. Good God.
Now you can put Deshaun Watson on there too.
Listen, we were trying to leave him off of it.
I'm not.
Todd Wilcox. I'll give you one.
There you
Todd
go.
Wilcox.
Former Charger Stan Humphries.
Ooh, Stan Humphries. Okay, he was good for a bit, but then he had that one injury.
Okay, how about this? Oliver Luck.
He wanted to be Andrew Luck so bad.
Oliver is his dad.
Oliver's is Andrew Luck's dad, bro.
Yes.
Andrew Luck just basically took his father's legacy, threw it out the window, and kind of shot at it a couple times. Is basically what you're saying.
Actually, no. The Colts did that for him by not providing him an offensive line.
But he was still one of the better Colts quarterbacks.
Oh, here you go. Ryan Tannehill.
Did we say
Okay,
that?
Tannehill actually was the only thing keeping Miami alive.
Okay. One
Here's
more.
what-
How about this one? Vince Young.
Oh, Lord. Well, that's another Tennessee player.
I'll counter that. RG3.
Robert Griffin the third. You could Cam Newton.
You know what?
We did Cam Newton.
Jonathan gave us another one. Brandon Wheaton, former Cleveland Brown.
Chris Chandler from Ryan McCarthy.
Yeah, there
Matt
you go.
Leinart. That's
Matt
a good
Leinart.
one.
Oh, God. Matt Leinart.
Leinart.
Blake with Andrew Walter.
Lord
Matt Barkley.
have mercy.
What?
Was Blake?
We could keep doing this.
Lynn
all.
Dickey.
You know what?
Blake, I already came up with Winky.
You know what?
Actually, no, not Lynn Dickey, because he was actually really good. He's in the Packers Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Grogan.
Former Patriot.
You're not wrong there.
Brian Sipe. Former
Let's
Cleveland
do another K-State quarterback, Dan Minucci.
Ty Detmer. Cleveland Browns.
Chad May.
Ryan comes up with Tony Eason.
Charlie.
I have K-State quarterbacks for days. I got another one. Michael Bishop, another Patriot.
Yeah,
you're not wrong
Michael
there
Bishop, who never got a fair chance.
One from
There you
Chicago,
go.
Eric Kramer.
I like Eric Kramer.
I do too.
I like Eric Kramer, but the Bears screwed him over.
Yeah.
The Bears really screwed him. Here you go. You ready? Bruce Gradkowski.
Skylar Thompson.
Oh, all I got to say is, guys, you know we could be doing this all day, but we're up against the break.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
Screw it. Let's keep going. Why not? And I got Cleveland Brown quarterbacks for days in front of me. We already said Brandon Whedon. Already said Brian Hoyer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all ready? Josh McCown.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say McCown. Because I remember that hilarious moment where McCown throws a game-winning touchdown over the Vikings and knocked them out of the playoffs.
That's
and the legendary PA call from that one.
Well, you know what? Screw it. Considering we've already halfway roasted New England quarterback room, I'll give you another former New England QB who's currently down in Jacksonville. Mac and Cheese Jones.
Mac Jones.
Dan Brownson.
Oh,
I mean, since we're going there, Daniel Jones, who is now a Colt.
Raiders pulled David Hum.
And Daniel Jones may wind up being the starting quarterback in Indianapolis.
Oh, boy.
I'll have to get Matt Taylor on to get his thoughts. Hopefully next week we get everything in order and we get back to
Bruce Matheson.
Who the hell is that?
Former Charger.
Yeah.
He played at Wisconsin. He ended his career on the Seahawks.
Wisconsin? He was a Wisconsin Badger?
No. No. I think it's that Nebraska.
Okay. Tommy, speaking of Cornhuskers, if he didn't have blood clots in his legs, he'd have been a great quarterback in the NFL. Tommy Frazier, former
Did you already say Keith McCant?
Yes. Oh, here you go. A quarterback turned politician, Heath Schuler.
I'll give you another name. Mike Phipps.
Mike who?
Exactly.
Mike who?
Exactly.
Tanner Lee.
Tanner Lee. Who in the Vita Blue hell? No, better question. Come here. Chris.
What in the all types of blue hell
is a Tanner Lee?
Quarterback, Jacksonville.
That explains everything.
Repeating my question.
What in the all types of blue hell
is that?
I'm surprised no one's dropped this name yet. Joey Harrington.
Max Duggan.
I think we did already.
Already did.
Max Duggan.
Where is Max? Max is in the UFL now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is, but he's a backup still.
Oh, he's still a backup?
I'm pretty sure.
Did we?
But take it with a grain of salt, because I don't know much about the UFL. I have more NFL ball knowledge than I do UFL.
That's Droid. I'm gonna give you the assignment of some live research. Find out where he's a backup.
Max Duggan.
Ryan comes up with a Boomer Esiason.
St. Louis.
Esiason was actually good. Duggan is the quarterback for the St. Louis Battlehawks. It should be
He's 2-0, 24 completions on 49 attempts, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, at a 64.6 rating.
Todd Reason.
We may actually have to go to break because we got somebody.
Now we have to go to a break.
Brian Greasy.
How about one last one?
You leave Brian Greasy alone, Victor. Just because he tore your Cowboys apart while he was a member of my 49ers doesn't mean you have to put him on that list.
Yeah, but Brian Greasy used to mess with the Bears.
Last player, and you probably already said them. Former Cowboys, former Bills, actually, just former Cowboys. Was practice squad on Broncos, Bills, and Saints, and was a Seattle Sea Dragons quarterback.
Who?
Ben, who gives a DiNucci.
We're going to a break.
When we get back,
Allison's going to be full of coffee. She's going to be full of vinegar, and she's going to be ready for us. The token female takeover hour is next.
Back in the day.
This is Snowman in the morning.
During bad, SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe. from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far. A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and to the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. On YouTube and where you can find all podcasts. Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
And now,
y'all only knew how many more quarterbacks we could come up with, but unfortunately, we don't have time because there's someone waiting for us.
And
here's Allie.
Now to see my
Hey guys, how are you?
We're doing great. How are you?
Cordell Stewart being the worst Bears quarterback. Here's Allie.
Oh no! By no means was Brian Greasy ever the worst Bears quarterback.
I said Cordell Stewart.
No. Oh God, no. You weren't alive. Let me think for a second. Rick Meyer. I'd go with him. I could probably say something about Chad Hutchinson and his backup role.
I was gonna say Chad Hudson. I'm like, wait, he was a wide receiver, not a quarterback, right? I'm like, no, that's got to be a quarterback.
I got a funny story to share about Bears quarterbacks because my mom grew up a Bears fan, born and raised in Chicago.
Yeah.
She used to razz me for years about my team of choice. And she kept asking me for years, why do you like the 49ers so much? I went upstairs and I drew the number 16 on a piece of paper, and I came back downstairs and I colored it in red. And I said, does this answer your question? And she goes, yeah, that guy, Montana. I said, yeah, that guy. And
Joe Montana. Hubba, hubba, hubba.
Mr. Montana. Okay. So my mom, when the Bears played the 49ers for the NFC Championship in '84, Mom had the audacity to look me in the eye and said, what if the Bears win today? I said, Mom, they're not even going to score a point today, let alone win. She says, all right, I have a bet for you. Lay it on me. I'll make you a pizza if you're right. You're on. I went upstairs. Why? Because I knew what was going to go on, and I knew I was going to wake everybody else up in the house whenever the 49ers scored. I came back downstairs, I wrote the score, I handed it to my mom, and I walked away. I said, oh, by the way, 23-0. And my mom was being playful. I love her dearly, and I miss her dearly. She had steam coming out of her ears, but she had the biggest smile on her face. And she came upstairs, she goes, all right, fine, I owe you a pizza. Thanks, Mom.
Did your dear mother ever make you that pizza?
Does Giordano's mean anything to you?
Much.
That's what my mom did. She made me a stuffed pizza in the style of Giordano's, and it took me a month to eat that doggone thing because it was
good
large.
stuff.
So
it's one of those kind of pizzas you make on you sit on the top shelf in your refrigerator. There's no room because there's no room anywhere else in that thing for it. That's what my mom did.
Giordano's is always going to be special to me because the fact that one time I had to take Ryan to a business meeting at Giordano's, and my girlfriend at the time, Toya, was with us. So we get over there. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna be probably about an hour. So y'all go do whatever y'all gonna do." We end up spending most of the time up on South Shore Drive by the Buckingham Fountain, which I will say, if you ever have a special lady in your life, that's where you go.
It's where
it's one place. Absolutely.
That's where I took Jody the last time we were there.
Was it at night?
No, it was not. It was
Too bad because you missed the light show, which is one of the most romantic things you can do for your lady. It's you got to go at night.
I would have taken her at night, but we had a 3-hour drive home.
I understand.
We had a 3-hour drive home. All right. To some WNBA preseason thoughts. What you got for us?
Yeah, well, it's sure nice to see the Fever and the Sky standing at 2-0 halfway through the preseason. First of all, that was very nice. I think it's not that surprising, though. I'll tell you one of the things that was somewhat underwhelming but not surprising to me was Paige Becker's debut. You know, number one pick. First of all, if you happen to have been living under a rock the last 3 weeks or not paying attention to this segment, but the number one pick, let's say that her debut was respectable. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 23 minutes played. Wasn't poor, but I think we were spoiled when Candace Parker came out with that triple double or triple. I think I can't remember which it was, but there were some issues. Number one. Yes, she's a franchise player, but just like Caitlin Clark last year with the Fever, she can't do it all. Neither did Michael Jordan his first year. As much as he might have wanted to, he's still a rookie. She was still a rookie. She's still learning the floor. She's still learning how to manage a group of pretty unfamiliar names. And I mean, she's not played with most of these women before. She may have played against them, but no, not necessarily. So you got to give her time, just as you give Caitlin Clark time. We also had one casualty last week, and that was Cheyenne Sellers, who was the number 17 pick in the WNBA draft. And she was picked by the Valkyries, our latest and newest franchise. And even though she was she did everything that Coach Natalie Nikhazy had told her. She said Natalie Nikhazy waived Cheyenne Sellers on May 3rd. And Natalie said that she picked up everything we asked her to do, did everything that they asked. It's just that I have to pick the best 12 that are going to fit. Doesn't mean it's the most talented. It's just the best 12. However, the good news for Cheyenne Sellers is that she was picked up pretty quickly, about 2 days later, joining the Atlanta Dream. So, so at least she's got a team. We'll see how everything goes in the remaining preseason games. She was a surprise for Maryland last year. She averaged 14.4 points, 3.8 rebounds, and 4.1 assists in her final season. So, that's impact. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's impact. Yeah. And so, but I think the rapidity at which they were, that she was dismissed was a big deal. So I think that was a little bit of a surprise because she had a lot of hype around her. She didn't go as high in the draft as many had predicted. So, but like I said about Paige, give them all time.
Exactly.
Just give them time. Now,
how does Cheyenne fit with Atlanta?
I think that she could fill a very good off the bench role. I think that I don't see her as a starter, first of all. I think that Atlanta, as you know, has a relatively solid core of players who are all getting to know each other. I think that she's going to be great off the bench for them, though. Okay. Yeah, that's just my opinion. So do you have any different ideas?
No, I don't see her being a starter immediately coming in. That may change. That may change over time. But there's one thing about the Atlanta Dream. They are becoming a very deep ball club.
They are. Yeah.
The additions that they have. So it's going to be tough for Cheyenne Sellers to compete for some playing time, number one. And number two, some key playing time. Especially when Chicago shows up, when Indiana shows up, New York, Minnesota, when the primetime teams show up. It's going to be tough for her to compete for some minutes and for her to earn some real playing time because of how deep Atlanta is.
She's got to make the most of that time on the court. I mean, that's true of any player, but I think this is going to be a learning curve for her. I think it's going to be a real. It'll be a test for her to see what she can do with those minutes, and I think that she will be able to make it. I have some positive vibes about it, and I just think, even after, Atlanta Dream has gone to, they've gone through such a rough transition. They have had so many tough years. It's like, let's hope that they're finally settling down and becoming what they need to be, and they can be a very good franchise. Shall we talk a little bit about Angel Reese? Let's talk about Angel Reese. Okay, the Sky won by 27 points over the Brazilian national team. My sincere hope is that the Brazilian national team, after back-to-back losses, will be able to hold their heads up, because that was sad.
Especially after what look at Iowa City on Sunday.
I was about to say, look what Indiana did to them.
Yeah,
that's so bad. Caitlin Clark's last shot was from about 38 feet out, nothing but net, and that just, you said it so many times, Allie. It just has to drop your morale when you see a player of Caitlin Clark's caliber, even though this was an exhibition game, and she does that in a very familiar place, in a very familiar spot on the floor.
Yeah. And I think it was very smart of Stephanie White, though, to sit her out for one of those preseason games. She had some leg stiffness. You don't want Caitlin Clark with leg stiffness through 44 games this year. This is not worth it. In any way, shape, or form, it is not worth it to be out there. And clearly, the USA and the WNBA is vastly superior to the Brazilian national team at this time. But it was a good warm up for the next Olympics. I think it's a few years away. You never know. Back to Angel Reese, though. One of the things that Tyler Marsh and his staff had talked about is wanting to draw Reese away from the basket. Now the strategy behind this is to allow more space for Angel to screen and dive, and also allowing teammates to attack the rim. Now, few people attack the rim like Angel Reese. So there's
true. Yeah, but the thing is, Angel's got to be able to finish at the rim too.
Yes, and she's caught more of her own rebounds than anything else, right? Let's be honest here. Yeah. And it is this year. Tyler Marsh has said that he wants Reese to handle more playmaking and initiate the offense. And much like Asia Wilson does for the Las Vegas Aces. And you have to remember that he's had firsthand observation of the Aces, having been their assistant for the past 2 seasons. So the other thing that was great was that Courtney Vandersloot, it was like she never left the court. It was like she has been she's been the general all along. It was like she never left. 11, 3, and 5, 11 points, and 4 steals, which is something we didn't always see with her,
No.
It's so, I mean, this is something she must have learned out of New York, right? Or at least exercising that a little bit more. So Sloot is phenomenal. I mean, 74-69 victory over the Minnesota Lynx. That was great. Also, Camilla. My God, Camilla Cardoso, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 1 steal. Let's say that they are all becoming a defensive team.
Which is great because when they made their appearance in the finals, that was their calling card. Their defense was their calling card, and they're getting back to it, which is huge for them. And it gives them a huge mental boost when they go up against teams like Indiana and New York and Atlanta and others to know we now have a defensive identity. And Allie, you talked about this last year, and I appreciate that you brought this up, and then we'll go to Shane here in a minute. Sure. They needed an identity. That was the one buzzword you kept using all last year because they had great pieces, but they never have an identity. Now it seems like they have one.
They will. Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, that was the one thing both Allie and I were harping on for a lot of these teams was trying to find an identity for themselves.
Right.
And now we've got one team that's going to be known as a defensive juggernaut.
That's
huge.
Hope and pray. Thoughts and prayers to go out with
as Pat McAfee would say, T's and P's, everybody.
Yeah.
But I still see one problem with Chicago that will prevent them from competing, and it's something all of us, everybody on the panel talked about. Make your free throws.
Yes.
Make your free throws, because how many games did we see last year where free throws kept them out of the game?
Were missed and horribly missed.
Exactly. And the one strategy other teams have, they're going to foul Angel Reese.
Yeah.
They're going to foul Angel Reese.
I do want to
send her to the line.
I do want to bring something, and I wonder if this is like if media is in a sense trying to be a little bit unfair to Angel, only because I have not seen anything about Angel in terms of the games. But what's plastered all over Google was Angel had to leave the Met Gala.
Met Gala.
I'm like, do we care? I want to see what she's going to do on the court.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now the thing about
Angel,
I'll speak to this. I can speak to that from a teenage girl's perspective, for lack of a better term. Remember the fashion icon that she is. Angel is building her brand, and she is a role model for little girls throughout the nation and the world. And so there's that part of her that she's developing as much as she is a basketball player. And there's a whole lot of hype around the fact that Angel, let's do a clothing line. I'm still mad at Mattel for their Barbie omission. They need to make a shy Barbie. I don't understand why they're not doing it. They have LeBron as the Ken doll. I mean, where's that going? They could.
They as I often say, find the lie? Find the lie.
Can you imagine? I have someday I'll have to bring it. I actually have a Bulls Barbie doll in my possession.
Oh, really?
And a friend of mine gave it to me like 20 years ago, and I still have it. I'll have to bring it. It's in my bedroom. There's no time now, but I just really kind of felt like, if you're going to make Angel into a global brand, you need to have a shy Barbie doll. And they won't let her use it. It boggles my mind. It was like the years that I spent before Allison became a popular name. what happened was when I was a little kid, I was one of the few Allisons in my class. And it wasn't until I got to my high school of 5,000 that that I found actually 5 Allisons in my class. I was friends with all of them. And I would write to companies and say, like those little bicycle license plates and things like that. I'd say, please make an Allison license plate, and they would write me back politely. I mean, I was like maybe 6 when I started doing that. And I would say, they would write me back and they would say, there's not enough demand for an Allison license plate for this to be even a consideration. Thank you for writing us. And please try another thing. They didn't even send me a gift certificate.
You know what? I get it. I get it because there was, I kept writing to the NFL for some strange reason, because at the time that I did this, they had a promotion going that they had they had a kids club. The NFL had a kids club where
I remember that.
You would get a book with all the team logos and the team names in it and all the players and everything, and you get a few extras. I didn't realize that it cost money at the time, and my dad was really tight-lipped about it. But he had planned a surprise for me when the mail came in one day, and he marched up to my room and he said, "Why did you stop writing the NFL?" I said, "Dad, I don't know. They never got back to me." He puts a box on my desk, and I ripped it open and screamed to the heavens because I was so excited because Dad actually had ordered the package a couple weeks ahead of time. And I forgot that they always ended each commercial. Anybody who, and I know I'm dating myself, anyone who has ordered something off of television back in the day, you know the rule. Please allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery.
Right.
I forgot that part.
You know what's funny? I did want to ask this question though, Allie. Do you think at some point that will they force Angel to pick a lane? Will one take precedent over the other? Will she have to become more the basketball player than the fashion icon, or can she still manage to juggle both?
That's
I think with Angel being as young and hungry as she is, I think she's going to try and juggle both. I think if one takes precedence over another, if her fashion brand and her, her style brand and all of her, outside activities start affecting her on the court, you better believe Marsha's going to come down real hard on her.
They'll force her to pick a lane.
Yes.
The hammer will come.
The hammer.
Pardon me? I couldn't quite hear that.
The hammer will come for her. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that she knows what brung her, and I think that she can handle those priorities relatively well. I think one thing that's going to be important for Angel this year is to develop more of a leadership role with the team, because last year was about kind of individual glory, let's face it. And I think that Tyler's going to make sure that they play a team game.
Yeah.
And much more so in the way that, you saw the New York Liberty play last year. And with Sluty really being the general that she always has been on the court, I think that that's where they're going to head. So, and I don't think that Tyler is the kind of coach that wouldn't lay down the law. I do believe that he's the type of coach that if you're not measuring up, he's gonna come after you. He's
and that's key for a young talent, or talents, I should say, like Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. Because remember, we lost Cardoso early in the year.
That's right.
She was gone for the remainder of the year, so they missed a lot fundamentally on the court, rebounding, defensive presence, and it's key that we talked about it earlier with Chicago establishing themselves as a defensive presence. The same can be true about Indiana. Difference is where Chicago attacks you defensively with bigs, Indiana attacks you defensively with speed.
Yes, and that's really key for Chicago. You know, it's key for Indiana's going to be an interesting transition this year. Interestingly enough, Stephanie White told other teams that to lay off Caitlin Clark this year. I'm not sure that was a wise idea.
Because now she just put a bigger target on her back.
Exactly. It's like
and the target went from about that big to about that big on Caitlin now, because it's like the principal telling the kids, you don't need to go do this, and the kids are like, go screw yourself, we're going to do this anyway.
Oh yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to try this anyway.
More like when the kid goes and says, they're being bullied, and then the person like calls them like, you will stop bullying this kid. Now they just put a bigger target, like, oh, we're really gonna get you because now you're snitching on us now.
That's absolutely right. Yeah.
I had that happen because I had so many people bullying me throughout my high school days, and then I grew from 5'7" to 6'1" come sophomore year, and they still thought they could bully me. And my dad gave me a directive: either you hit back or I hit you. So,
I wish I had that. Wish I had your parents' friends.
Just make sure they
play.
Just make sure they swing first.
Dad, yeah, that's the thing. Dad did not want me to initiate contact, but he wanted me to respond to contact.
Yeah.
Don't initiate it, just finish it. Don't initiate it, just finish it.
One day sophomore year, when nobody expected, I just got tired of this one guy bullying me, and I turned around and looked at him, and I said, you have one more time to bully me, and you will regret it. He tried again, and he went flying down the stairs.
Sounds like me back senior year in high school.
He came flying after me. I did two things. I sidestepped him and I tripped him. He went flying downstairs. I landed in the principal's office, and I thought, okay, my dad's going to hear about this, and I'm dead. Nope. Principal pulled me into the office, waited for the door to close, and laughed out loud. And he just gave me the simple message, it's about time. I said, I don't want to make this a regular recurrence, because if I do, my dad's going to whoop my ass. And he said, did you start it? No. Did you finish it? Yes. Good. Get going.
Right.
Like the principal. I wish we had that.
I had something similar where I had guys messing with me, and I usually, because I was in private school, I usually didn't get in trouble for like disciplinary reasons. Usually it's like if I was in the office, it was because of something dealing with financials. So the one time I did get caught in a fight, we both got pulled into the office, and I'm sitting there just waiting. The principal comes and grabs the other guy and like yanks him into the room, and I just hear this tirade of screaming out there. I'm like, oh, I'm dead. I am so dead. I am far beyond dead. I am right now.
Oh yeah.
He comes out, he says, you go to your class.
I'm out of here.
Touchdown.
Yeah. I love it.
That's when you get up and walk out without a wait.
I'm leaving. He changed his mind.
Yeah. No kidding.
Speaking of running, Sue Bird named the managing director for USA Basketball, and Kara Lawson has been named coach of Team USA for the America Cup this summer. When you have two veterans like that of women's basketball,
boy, does that
their minds together, that makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
That is going to be an amazing combination. The thing that I love about Sue Bird is just from her rookie season, she has been just the most amazing player. Look, and so she understands more than probably any other managing director has how to win and how to get gold. And even now, the U.S. has 8 gold medals, right? The women's team has 8 gold medals. I will stress that. The women's team has 8 gold medals.
Yep.
Yes. And so it's basically a gold medal or bust, right? And you've got to remember that Sue Bird was part of most of those teams, and she knows talent. She is going to recruit well. Now, one of the things that is going to be interesting was, you remember last year, or 2 years ago, there was a huge amount of issues regarding not selecting Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
And I don't think that that's going to happen this year, but what's going to happen with people like Paige Beckers? What's going to happen with people? Yeah, that's right. It was last year. It's the thing is that that decision, it was probably the biggest damper over the last gold medal. Was it the right decision? I couldn't tell you if that was the right decision or not. I know that it was more likely that, you had so many really good players on their last legs, like Diana Taurasi, like Brittany Griner comes to mind. And even though I don't think that she would say that she's on her last legs by any stretch of the imagination, I may say it before she would ever say it. But the thing is that she is going to be, Sue is going to be very fair about it. I think she's going to look at players like Paige Beckers and say, what can this player do? How can I fit them together to make a real good team? I think that'll be her criterion for how this next cycle works for the 2028 Olympics. And I think it's going to be a real interesting process. Her term is for 4 years, and the thing was that Sue had served on the board of directors, and she's more than prepared for making those hard choices and the decisions that are necessary in order to make it work. The good news is that there's also 3x3 basketball as well that she will be in charge of. And so the team, the members that she can't place on the 5-person team, she can always place on the 3-person team. And so she's got a very wide forum in which to place any player that she chooses to. I think that I wouldn't be too surprised if Carol Lawson, given what happens this summer for the AmeriCup competition, I do believe that she is going to possibly be the U.S. Not just the USA basketball coach, but she's going to be the Olympic coach. I think that's entirely possible. I would put a bet on it. Gino's already won 18 or something. There's no reason to, let's give the younger people the talents, just like the Democratic Party. Let us give the younger people some leeway to forge the next generation of talent in international competition.
And you keep improving the product as the competition improves. You keep the consistency established, and you keep winning. You have all the pieces in place right now.
You do. It's amazing. You can see that in the ratings for the preseason. My God, it's something like 1.2 million or so that have been watching preseason games.
Preseason WNBA basketball.
Yeah,
that's crazy to have 7-figure number tallies coming in for preseason. If they're this excited for the preseason, I can't wait to see what their excitement will be for the regular season when it tips off. And of course, it just has to tip off, and I love that it does, with the Fever and the Sky opening up the spigot. This is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be a crazy season, and I'm here for it.
It will, believe me. I did want to say that Kara's already picked her assistant coaches. They've got Old Dominion's Delisha Milton-Jones and Oklahoma's Jenny Baranczyk. And they are going to be playing against North America, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. And the tournament is going to run from June 28th through July 6th in Santiago, Chile. So this will be so much fun. And each of the coaches have previous USA basketball coaching experience, and they've all earned multiple gold medals. So it's almost like you expect it.
Yeah.
You expect a gold medal from the United States. So they're, God willing. But here's the deal. You can't assume anything.
You can't.
You got to get ready for every game. No game is a shoo-in. Everybody in from Santiago, Chile to Bolivia knows that this is the game. Every game has to be taken one by one, and that's how you build that gold medal.
That's how you build that passion. That's how you build for that gold medal, and that's how you build what's the word we used earlier? That consistency.
Yeah,
that you want to make sure stays there. One more note before we get out of here, and I'm glad you brought this. A boost in Kansas City for women's rugby.
Believe it or not, rugby is kind of like women's wrestling. It's a real up and coming sport, and nobody is, I guess, is more surprised. I suppose, but I shouldn't be. Right. But they set a new attendance record in Kansas City. They drew 10,518 fans at CPKC Stadium. And that is the first stadium in the world to be purpose-built for women's sports. I think my next vacation is going to be to Kansas City. So I have friends out there. I really do need to go visit them. So the thing is that the one rising tide lifts all boats, right? The rise of WNBA, the rise of the NCAA, the rise of all women's sports is fueling all of this wonderful and important time in women's sports overall. I cannot wait to see what happens in the future, because right now, everything that I prayed for back, 20, 25 years ago is coming. And it's coming alive. Next
WNBA, it's going to be even better. With the NCAA and the WNBA, it's going to be even better when we see Juju Watkins.
Yes,
on the floor in full uniform. Just, man, when Juju Watkins gets drafted, I'm going to have 3 big monitors here in front of me watching every single move and every single game. I cannot wait next year to cover women's basketball in full because the buzz around Paige Beckers was the same buzz around Caitlin Clark, and it's going to be the same buzz around Juju Watkins and Allie. You know this as well as anybody. It's going to be crazy.
I will tell you, I had such a great time on Saturday. We had taken Greg's grandson out for his birthday, and we went to this sports restaurant gastropub thing, and they had they had a women's basketball game on. Ollie looks up at the screen and he says, "That's Hannah Hidalgo." And I'm going,
the kid knows his stuff.
I'm going, how do you know this? And he goes, and I said, Ollie, did you know that I go write about women's sports, and I'm on TV doing women's sports? And he goes, no. And so he, and all of a sudden, I became a cool Alley Pops. That's my nickname there, because Greg is Pops, so I'm Alley Pops, and so it was. I loved it because that's the generation that I'm worried about. That's the one. That's the one that's going to lift all boats. And to have him so already familiar with the game and with the and being comfortable with the fact that women are as good as men in the sport. He plays on he has a league through his park district, and he's got a pretty good girl defender on his team. He plays with both girls and boys. And I'm saying that's going to be the norm for them. That's going to be the norm for the next generation, and nothing makes me happier than that.
Nothing makes me happier, because when I used to do box scores when I was in school, just like I would see in the Sun Times and in the Tribune. I wouldn't have just boys' names down on the team. I'd have girls' names down there too, and it was just awesome to think about. And then I became a broadcaster and started covering women's sports, and now I'm glad I started doing this.
Yeah.
I am so happy that I started doing this. And Allie, it's great to have people like you aboard with us doing this, especially when the WNBA tips off. Oh my Lord, it's going to be crazy.
I am going to be at Sky Media Day on Monday, and so I will be reporting on that, and maybe get you a little advanced video and stuff like that, and I'll be doing some conversations. Anybody you want me to have conversations with, for sure.
Dealer's choice. Well,
dealers.
I want the coach for sure, but the rest, dealer's choice. Dealer's choice.
Hopefully Angel will respond.
That would be great.
Yeah,
that would be great. And we're about to get out of here. Allie, thank you so very, very much for coming on with us as you do every week. It's fun to have you. It's great to have you. Can't wait till next week, and can't wait for the WNBA season to tip off. It's going to be so much fun.
Coming soon. Have a great week, you guys. Love y'all.
Thank you very much. Love you. And to think the Fever and the Sky will kick off the season.
That's going to be a ratings palooza, dude.
Get your popcorn.
I can't wait to put the headset on for that.
Oh, yeah.
Get your popcorn.
I can't wait to put the headset on for that.
Man, get your popcorn and nachos for that one.
Indeed. Indeed. In fact, there's a pretty lady that would be mad if I did not cover that game. So she already knows I'm going to be doing that game. Have a great weekend. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. And just like Bicko DeBolin against Tuukka Rask, we'll be back with you on Monday.
Shut up.
So long, everybody. What they say? What
You
they
really
say?
had to go there.
Tattooed this on the foreheads of both Joel Embiid and James Harden. Y'all still bitches.
John Cena, you a bitch too?
See y'all Monday. I won't be here.
LeBron James, you a bigger bitch. Out.